Sophie and Emma, inseparable since childhood, decided to seal their bond, a permanent reminder of their friendship. What better symbol than matching bracelets, not just any bracelets, permanent ones, forged onto their wrists. It felt daring, a testament to their unyielding connection. A Saturday afternoon found them strolling down a hidden lane, giggling at the absurdity of it all. They stumbled upon a peculiar shop, tucked away like a secret. "Curiosity Jewelry," the sign proclaimed in elegant script. It seemed perfect, beckoning them closer. Sophie, ever the adventurous one, pulled Emma towards the entrance. The bell chimed mournfully as they stepped inside. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of incense and something ancient. It sent shivers down their spines. They exchanged nervous glances, a shared feeling of unease settling over their initial excitement. Still, the allure of the permanent bond outweighed the creeping discomfort. They were determined to find the perfect symbol of their friendship. A figure emerged from the shadows, startling the girls. A man impossibly old with eyes that glinted like polished obsidian. His smile held a peculiar chill as he greeted them. "Welcome, ladies! What can I tempt you with today?" His voice was a low rasp, each word carefully measured. He reminded them of a spider patiently weaving its web. Emma shifted uncomfortably, clutching Sophie's hand. Sophie, though slightly unnerved, managed to smile. "We're interested in permanent bracelets, matching ones." The jeweler's grin widened, revealing teeth stained an unnatural yellow. "Ah, a bond you wish to make eternal. A powerful desire." He led them to a dusty cabinet, his long fingers tracing the glass. He produced two slender bracelets, their metal strangely cold and oddly pulsating. The metal was like nothing they had ever seen before, dark and lustrous with an internal glow that seemed to throb faintly. He assured them it was a unique alloy, its beauty unmatched. Despite the unsettling atmosphere and the jeweler's unnerving presence, they agreed. The bracelets were beautiful, their strange allure impossible to resist. It felt like destiny, a decision already made. He ushered them to a back room, the air growing colder with each step. The jeweler worked quickly, his touch surprisingly gentle. The welding process was painless, a cold sensation that left them bewildered. As he finished, he looked at them, a knowing smirk playing on his lips. "The bond is sealed." He chuckled, a dry, rustling sound that echoed in the silence. They left the shop, their linked wrists a tangible symbol of their enduring friendship. The initial joy was undeniable. They admired the bracelets in every reflection, their anxieties momentarily forgotten. Yet that night, things began to shift. The bracelets felt strangely tight, the metal constricting. Their initial comfort morphed into a suffocating pressure. Sophie felt a surge of inexplicable anger, a simmering rage directed at Emma. Emma, on the other hand, became withdrawn, a deep sadness enveloping her. Their dreams, once filled with light-hearted laughter, twisted into dark, disturbing visions. They woke each morning more exhausted than the last, a creeping dread seeping into their waking hours. Days turned into weeks, the subtle changes becoming increasingly pronounced. The bracelets seemed to pulsate with a life of their own, their glow intensifying. Sophie, once the picture of patience, became quick-tempered and irritable. The smallest inconvenience sent her into a furious tirade. Emma, naturally bubbly and optimistic, retreated further into herself. Her laughter, once so frequent, became a distant memory. Their friendship, once an unbreakable bond, began to fray. Their connection, once a source of strength, now felt like a suffocating chain, pulling them down into a whirlpool of despair. They couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The bracelets, once symbols of their unyielding bond, were becoming instruments of their destruction. They needed to get them off. Section 5. The Vanishing Act. Panic set in. They had to get back to the jeweler to undo what had been done. They rushed back to the hidden lane, their hearts pounding with a growing sense of dread. But the shop, once so familiar, was gone, vanished without a trace. It was as if it had never existed at all, leaving behind only an empty space and a chilling silence. Despair washed over them. They tried prying the bracelets off, but the metal wouldn't budge. It was as if they were a part of them now, fused to their very beings. Desperate, they sought help. Doctors, jewelers, even a blacksmith, all were baffled. The bracelets, seemingly ordinary metal to everyone else, refused to be cut, broken, or melted. They were trapped. Section 6, Bound by Fate. Their lives, once filled with laughter and shared dreams, became a nightmare. Sophie's anger spiraled, pushing everyone away, leaving her isolated and alone. The guilt and remorse were unbearable, yet the rage always returned, a raging inferno consuming her from within. She hated the bracelet and the despair it brought, yet she was powerless against it. Emma, consumed by a bottomless sadness, found it hard to even leave her bed. The world seemed to lose its color, her once vibrant spirit now shrouded in an oppressive darkness. She was a ghost haunting her own life. Their bond, instead of uniting them, became a conduit for their amplified emotions, feeding off each other's despair. The bracelets, a constant chilling reminder of their predicament, pulsed with a sinister light, reflecting their torment back at them. They were trapped, bound together by a curse they didn't understand. Section 7, The Search for Answers. Driven to desperation, Sophie dove into research. She scoured libraries and ancient texts, searching for any mention of the strange metal, any clue to break the curse. She learned about cursed artifacts, objects imbued with malevolent magic, capable of twisting the wearer's fate. Her blood ran cold. The jeweler, with his knowing smirk and unsettling aura, was no ordinary craftsman. He was a sorcerer of sorts, a weaver of dark magic, and he had chosen them for his twisted game. She discovered tales of similar bracelets, artifacts designed to amplify the wearer's emotions, to push them to their extremes. The consequences for attempting to remove them were always dire, often fatal. The stories chilled her to the bone, but she couldn't give up. She had to save Emma and herself from this dreadful fate. She had to find a way to sever the bond. One late night, while poring over a particularly ancient and cryptic text, she stumbled upon a cryptic passage. It spoke of a ritual, a way to sever the bond, but it required a sacrifice of equal value to the bond itself. Sophie's heart sank. What could be of equal value to their lifelong friendship? What could she possibly offer that would appease the curse? The answer, when it came to her, was as unexpected as it was horrifying. The text spoke of a blood sacrifice, a ritual performed under a blood moon. It was a terrifying prospect, but Sophie knew she had no choice. She had to try. She owed it to Emma, to their shattered friendship, to make things right. She had to break the curse, even if it cost her everything. The weight of their fate rested on her shoulders, heavy and suffocating. But amidst the fear, a flicker of hope ignited within her. The next blood moon was weeks away. Weeks she used to prepare, to steel her resolve and to try one last time to reach Emma. She visited Emma every day, each visit a painful reminder of their shattered bond. Emma, lost in her sea of despair, barely acknowledged her presence. Sophie poured her heart out, confessing her role in their predicament, begging for forgiveness. But Emma remained distant, her eyes vacant, her spirit broken. As the blood moon approached, Sophie felt a mix of trepidation and strange determination. She had chosen a secluded clearing in the woods, a place they frequented as children, a place filled with happy memories. She hoped those memories, those echoes of their former selves, would lend her strength. The air grew heavy as the blood moon rose, casting an eerie crimson glow over the clearing. Following the instructions in the ancient text, Sophie performed the ritual. The air crackled with an unseen energy, the silence broken only by her whispered incantations. As she made the final cut, a searing pain shot through her arm. The bracelet, engulfed in a blinding light, finally shattered, the pieces dissolving into dust. She collapsed to the ground. The last thing she saw before darkness claimed her was Emma, bathed in the crimson moonlight, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and something akin to recognition. When Emma woke the next morning, it was to an unfamiliar silence. Gone was the suffocating sadness, the crushing despair. She felt lighter, freer than she had in months. She rushed to Sophie's house, a sense of foreboding gripping her heart. She found Sophie's room empty, the window open, a single white feather resting on the floor. Years passed. Emma never gave up searching for Sophie. Clinging to the hope that she was still out there, somewhere, she found solace in helping others, those struggling with their own demons. She carried the memory of Sophie, their laughter, their bond, like a talisman, a bittersweet reminder of what they had lost and the sacrifice Sophie had made. The scar on her wrist, where the bracelet had once been, was a constant reminder of the ordeal, a physical manifestation of the invisible chains that bind us. Sometimes, late at night, she could have sworn she felt a familiar presence, a whisper of warmth against her skin. A faint echo of laughter carried on the wind. The curse might be broken, the physical bond severed, but some connections, she realized, transcended the physical world. They lingered in the spaces between, in the whispers of the wind, in the warmth of a shared memory, a haunting reminder of the enduring power of an unbreakable chain.